Hey guys, Kirk Short here with the Wichita home team at Keller Williams Signature Partners, and this is another episode of Cruising with Kirk. And today I've got a really neat guy that's joining me. It's Mr. Tim Norton. And
Here
how
I
are you
am.
doing?
Wonderful. I'm ready to cruise. You kind of scared me though when you said we were going to go up in a plane and cruise, and you don't even have a pilot's license.
No.
Don't kid me like that, Kirk. That is not good. I'm an old man.
I figured, we try it. You try it once. What the heck?
It would be once, yeah. So I feel a little better that we're cruising in your truck. That's pretty good.
Well, for those of you that don't know who Mr. Norton is, Mr. Norton used to be a county commissioner and former mayor of Hayesville, and now he's the executive director of the Kansas Aviation Museum. And because I was invited to be on the board of directors, I thought, this is a neat opportunity not only for Tim's new role as the executive director to kind of talk about him and some things that way, but to also, for those that don't know Tim, to get to know him. So we're gonna go drive around and learn a little bit more about you. Are you good with that?
I am, and we're going to follow all the laws.
All of them. All of them. Let's get going.
Well, I'm tickled to death to do this from your office on the west side. This is pretty neat. But we're going to be talking about the Aviation Museum, and that's down on the south side.
I know.
And the amazing thing, Kirk, is there's so many people don't know that we have an aviation museum.
I'm sad to sit there and say I've been in Wichita for basically 40 years, and until I was invited to participate with the gala, I had never been to the museum. And, as you know, now that I'm working with you guys, for the museum, I was impressed at the potential of what's here. It was incredible, the artifacts that are actually there.
Oh, yeah.
And more importantly, having an opportunity to introduce people to some of Wichita and Kansas's aviation history.
Well, it's rich. If anybody, we're going to follow all the laws.
All of them. All of them.
Has lived in Kansas for just a modicum of a second. You can't get away from the aviation history. I mean, the names of Cessna and Beech and Stearman and Lear are just embedded in our community. Those companies have flourished since the 1920s. They've grown into big corporations, and they're a part of the history of Kansas and certainly Wichita. And we have to preserve that. Not to mention that aviation is still pretty important to our community right now.
It is.
It just goes on. And we've got a lot of that history out at the museum. I mean, between restored planes and artifacts and archival kinds of materials, you've seen it.
Yep.
It's pretty spectacular.
Yeah. I was really impressed by, you're talking about, first of all the different aviation construction. I didn't realize how many different plane manufacturers, and we're not talking parts manufacturers, we're talking about plane manufacturers, right?
Absolutely. And 70% of the general aviation light plane industry still flying today was built
right
in Wichita, Kansas. I mean, in Kansas. And that's pretty amazing.
It is.
Really amazing.
It really, really is. Who is Tim Norton, and what brought you here, not just to the Kansas Aviation Museum, but just to Wichita and to you doing what you have done?
Well, I came here from Tulsa. I was with Target stores, and we were getting ready to open Target East and Target West across from the malls. And I ended up running the Town East store for 18, 19 years. And along the way was mayor of Hayesville, and a tornado hit the town, and I quit my job at Target, gave up a couple of years of my life to be mayor, and then ran for county commissioner and did that for 16 years. But I was an old retailer. I didn't work in the aviation industry. I ran Target stores and was a corporate trainer for Target. And
really?
I knew about aviation. I loved flight. but I'm not a pilot. I never turned a wrench on a plane, so aviation was something I could love from afar, but I wasn't involved in it.
Right.
So I was a marketing guy, a retail guy for those years. Landed here and found out that it was pretty easy, I think, as you found, to get involved in the community.
Yep.
I got a chance to be on the United Way board and this Wichita Chamber board. I got involved with River Festival and Wagon Masters, and all of that just kind of spread out to lead me to say, I'm probably not going to leave here. I want to stay. And that's unusual because most retailers, particularly like Target, you move around. You move to other larger stores or get promoted. And I interviewed quite a few times for some of those, but just found that I liked living here. I wanted to have some stability of raising my kids.
Right.
And it's safe to say I'm here after almost 40 years now.
So I told you before we went on this trip that I always like to have some fun and have a contest and give away something. And I have an idea of what we can do for the contest. I was wondering if you have an idea for the giveaway portion.
Well, we can give away some family packs to come in and experience the museums. We'll even give away a year-long membership to somebody that if they can compete in the contest you got in your head. We'll find something to give the winner that's got a great value.
Well, then that's going to be the plan. So here's what the contest is going to be. Since we're talking about Tim, his new position as executive director with the Kansas Aviation Museum, and our rich aviation history in Wichita. Everybody has a connection to aviation somehow. And so to win, we're going to pick a person that gives us an interesting story about how aviation has impacted you or your family. Maybe it's a neat picture. Maybe it's a family member flying or working on the construction lines and one of the plants, whether that's old or new. Just something that ties to aviation. Well, Tim, we are back to our building.
Well, that was a pretty good trip, Kirk. I enjoyed. It's a beautiful day in Doodah, by the way. You picked a great day to do this.
Gorgeous. It absolutely is. But seriously, I really want to thank you for spending time with us, sharing your story, sharing your passion, and letting us know a little bit more of what you're about. And as I've told you in the past, we are probably going to have a few more updates on the progress of things with the museum.
Well, we've got a lot of plans, and now it's just checking them off the list one at a time. And I was talking to your mom earlier. I said, you don't eat an elephant in one bite.
You don't.
We're dividing it up. We're taking small bites and getting things done to refresh the museum and then re-invite people to come out and see what we're doing, because we're going to make a huge difference in the storytelling of aviation in our community. And
absolutely.
I'm pretty proud of that.
Well, all of you guys that are watching, I want to thank you for taking the time to watch this video. And if you haven't been out to the Kansas Aviation Museum, I really encourage and challenge you to come out there. The staff are incredible. They really work their tails off to provide an amazing experience, as amazing as they can, for all of you. I know the museum wants your input. So I'm sure at any time, send them a private note. Let them know what your experience is like. Let them know, as an individual, what would encourage you to come out there? What would make your experience better? Because that's how they grow. And again, from all of us here at the Wichita home team at Keller Williams. I really want to thank you for watching this episode of Cruising with Kirk, and I will talk with you guys next time. Take care. Thank you, sir.
Not a problem. I really appreciate it, Kirk.